I used to get to school early, not because I wanted to. I just lived far enough away that the bus dropped me off before most other kids arrived. Most mornings, the hallways were empty, quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your footsteps sound too loud. One morning, a Tuesday I think, I was heading to my locker before first period. The school was mostly empty. A few teachers were setting up their classrooms. The janitor was somewhere down the east wing. Normal stuff. That's when I noticed him. There was a man standing near the main office. Not a teacher, not a staff member. He was maybe in his 40s, wearing a dark jacket. He wasn't doing anything, just standing there, looking down the hallway toward where the younger kids' classes were. I figured he was a parent dropping something off. I didn't think much of it and kept walking. But then I turned the corner toward my locker, and I had this feeling. You know the feeling. The one where you know someone is watching you, even before you look. I turned around slowly. He was looking at me, not glancing, not accidentally making eye contact. He was staring directly at me. And when I made eye contact, he didn't look away. I went to my locker and I kept my head down. My hands were shaking a little. I told myself I was being paranoid. He was just a parent. He was waiting for someone. Then I heard footsteps. I turned. He was walking toward me, slowly. Not running, not saying anything, just walking in my direction, down the empty hallway. I don't know what made me do it, but I turned and walked fast, very fast, toward the cafeteria where I knew the kitchen staff would already be setting up. I pushed through the double doors and stood there, breathing hard. A few minutes later, the lockdown alarm went off. I didn't know what was happening. Our teacher told us to stay low and away from the windows. Nobody told us anything else. I sat under a table in the cafeteria for almost an hour, listening to the distant sound of voices, adult voices, somewhere in the building. When the lockdown was finally lifted, a police officer came and escorted our group out through a side exit. I remember asking what happened, and he just said, "Everything's okay. You're okay." Later that day, I found out through other students that the man had tried to take his daughter out of the school. There was a custody situation. He didn't have legal rights to see her. He'd apparently threatened one of the custodians when they asked him to leave. The police removed him from the building. That part I understood. What I never understood, what I still think about sometimes, is why he was walking toward me. I didn't know him. I had nothing to do with his daughter. I wasn't in his way. But he was walking toward me, down that empty hallway, and I still don't know what would have happened if I hadn't moved. I don't want to know. Junior year. Me and my friend Marcus had a bad habit of skipping our last period on Fridays. Not every Friday, just when the week had been long enough that neither of us could stomach another 45 minutes of sitting in a desk. We'd hide out in the bathroom near the gym, wait for the final bell, and slip out. It was stupid. We knew it was stupid. We did it anyway. The Friday this happened, we'd completely forgotten that the school had announced a lockdown drill for 5th period. They'd told us the day before. Teachers reminded us in the morning. We knew. And then, like idiots, we forgot. So, there we were, 2 juniors wandering the empty hallway on the 2nd floor when we heard the announcement come over the intercom. This is a lockdown drill. All students and staff, please follow lockdown procedures immediately. Marcus looked at me. I looked at Marcus. We were in the middle of the hallway, nowhere near a classroom. Every door around us was either locked or already sealed from the inside. We couldn't knock and ask to be let in. That would mean explaining why we were out here, and we'd both get written up. So we decided to find the nearest bathroom and wait it out. We turned and started walking quickly toward the bathroom at the end of the hall. The hallway was completely empty, just fluorescent lights humming above us and the sound of our sneakers on the floor. That's when we heard it. Footsteps, behind us. Somewhere farther down the hall, past where we'd just come from. We didn't turn around. We assumed it was a hall monitor, Maybe a teacher doing a sweep of the hallway to catch kids like us. So we walked faster, turned the corner, and ducked into the bathroom. We stood there in silence, listening. The footsteps got closer. Then they stopped, right outside the bathroom door. Neither of us moved. I remember staring at the gap at the bottom of the door, watching for a shadow. There was one. Someone was standing just on the other side. Then after about 20 seconds, they walked away. We stayed in that bathroom for the rest of the drill. When the all clear announcement came, we slipped back out. We never saw who it was. I told myself it was a teacher. Marcus said it was probably just another kid doing the same thing we were doing. We laughed about it on the walk home. But here's the thing. We were in the East Wing. That bathroom is at the very end of a dead-end corridor. There's no reason to walk down that hallway during a lockdown drill unless you're specifically checking rooms or specifically following someone. A teacher would have knocked. A teacher would have said something. Whoever it was just stood there and then walked away. I don't usually tell this story because I know how it sounds. It was my freshman year. About halfway through second period, the intercom clicked on, and instead of the principal's voice, there was just static. Then a long pause. Then the lockdown alarm. No announcement. No, this is not a drill. Just the alarm. Every teacher in the building knew immediately it was real. Apparently, a real lockdown sounds different from a drill in some schools, and ours was one of them. My teacher went pale. She locked the door, turned off the lights, and told us all to move away from the windows and get down. I ended up near the back of the room, pressed against the wall near the supply closet. There were maybe 20 of us in there, completely silent. A few kids were crying quietly. I remember looking at the clock and watching the seconds tick. About 10 minutes in, I heard something in the hallway. Not running, not voices, just a slow, heavy sound. Like something being dragged. It moved past our door, then stopped. The door handle moved. Not a knock, not a voice asking us to open up. Just the handle, turning slowly, as far down as it would go, then releasing. Then silence. I don't know how long we stayed in that room. It felt like an hour, maybe more. When the lockdown was finally lifted, police officers came to each classroom one by one and escorted us out. In the hallway, I saw something that I've never been able to explain. The door of the supply closet, the one right next to our classroom, the one I'd been sitting closest to, had a long crack running down the middle of it. Like something had hit it, hard, from the inside. That closet had been locked all year. Our teacher confirmed it after. She'd never had a key to it. The school had been meaning to clear it out. It was supposed to be empty. Later, the news reported that a student had come to school with a weapon and had been taken into custody after a confrontation with police in the East Hallway, the opposite end of the building from where we were. The East Hallway. We were in the West Wing. So whatever was in our hallway during that lockdown, whatever turned our door handle, whatever left that crack in the closet door, it wasn't what was on the news. I've never gone back to look into it. I've never tried to find out more. Some things, I think, are better left alone. If any of you have had something similar happen at your school, something you never fully understood, I want to hear it. Leave it in the comments. Send it in. Maybe your story is the next one I tell. And as always, stay safe out there.